daily saying I can't breathe because the cops on the next and they yelling please. People get a shower saying don't shoot me please. I got 3 kids at home and I take care of their needs. America, the home of the brave and the free. Yeah, minorities oppressed as far as I can see. I wish I could say different, but there's nothing I can say. I was born in this country and America's this way. We're tired of our name becoming hashtags because y'all people want disposals like dish rags. We comply to your order, you bring us up. Beat us out of shoes, and now we can't just get up. Maybe you're not even shooters, or treat us like shooters. If the real shooters that shot can't even get shot, hey, y'all protecting with your life and boo-boo vests. If we walked in the street innocent and y'all just arrest us. Trust in the system, they say, but I'm scared I get shot on any given day. I see a couple one-on-one away like I'm praying, but I know that wouldn't end well, so I pray. Y'all said we are innocent until proven guilty. But I see my skin color as a weapon. We don't do anything yet, we still pay the penalty. See my skin's ugly, but I see it as a blessing. People dying daily saying I can't breathe because the cops on the next and they yelling please. People get a shower saying don't shoot me please. I got 3 kids at home and I take care of their needs. America, the home of the brave and the free. Yeah, minorities oppressed as far as I can see. I wish I could say different, but there's nothing I can say. I was born in this country and America's this way. Black lives matter, ACAP, all lives matter. Forget all of that. You're protesting to get equality, and y'all can't even let us have this one little victory. History, MLK says a riot is the language of the unheard, and we are that. We riot because they only listen when there is destruction, and we only do this because of their instruction trying to function. Had it out for us, we was youngest, popping in from school to jail like it was nothing. Take a 2% of the population, yeah, we make a 60% of prisons, and that is crazy. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, macaroons, a dean, all give the hand the cops that keep us free. All we are asking for is some justice, please, and not to have these murderers on paid leave. People dying daily saying I can't breathe because the cops on the next and they yelling please. People get a shower saying don't shoot me please. I got 3 kids at home and I take care of their needs. America, the home of the brave and the free. Yeah, minorities oppressed as far as I can see. I wish I could say different, but there's nothing I can say. I was born in this country and America's this way. People dying daily saying I can't breathe because the cops on the next and they yelling please. People get in shower saying don't shoot me please. I got 3 kids at home and I take care of their needs. America, the home of the brave and the free. Yeah, minorities oppressed as far as I can see. I wish I could say different, but there's nothing I can say. I was born in this country and America's this way.
Ahmaud Arbery out for a job. And George
Born
Floyd,
in this country
black man
and
confronted by
America's
white
this
people,
way.
both ending in death.
We are just human beings. We just want to be treated
I was born
with dignity
in
and
this
respect.
country and
I just don't have a lot of
America's
hope
this
and faith
way.
in the system.
Hello and welcome to A Night for Life. I want to start tonight in a little bit of a different way with a moment of silence. It's been a difficult day. It's been a difficult week. It's been a difficult year. And right now I think that there are people that need our love, our attention, and our support and prayers more than ever. And I think those people are the family members of Breonna Taylor and the friends of Breonna Taylor. And so I don't know if you're a spiritual person. I don't know if you pray. I don't know if you meditate or sending positive energy, but I want to start out that way tonight. So if we could, let's take 26 seconds to think about sending love, energy, positivity to her family and friends right now. All right. Okay, welcome again to A Night for Life. I'm going to keep it real with you all. So things did not go as planned this week. We certainly did not plan to have an event in the middle of protest. We did not plan to have to host tonight without our spectacular MC, Shannon Cogan, but she cannot be here with us tonight because she has to be at the studio covering the news. And we certainly didn't plan to have a Night for Life 2 in Louisville during a pandemic. But we're rolling with the punches. I didn't dream as a child of being an MC, so I hope you will give me some grace tonight. We will try to make it as entertaining as possible and, of course, as meaningful as possible. Also, give us a little bit of grace. I think that the link was giving everybody a little bit of trouble at the beginning, but you should all have it now as you're with us. And so back to the host and the MC situation, I want to introduce someone who is very special to me, who will be helping me all night tonight. His name is Dion Green, and you'll soon find out a little bit more about his story, but he is a gun violence survivor as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Dion to get us started.
Wow. Wasn't that a great performance by AMP to kick off the evening? AMP gives Louisville youth the opportunity to express creativity with music through writing, performing, and producing, deterring kids from drug use and violence. Whitney Strong is happy to collaborate with AMP tonight to reduce gun violence. Good evening. My name is Dion Green, and I'm excited to be here, virtually, with all of you, a Night for Life, Reflections on Survival, supporting the Whitney Strong organization. I want to start to tell you a little about Whitney Strong co-founder and executive director, Whitney Austin. But before then, I want to share a little story about how me and Whitney are in a network that too many around the country don't want to be in, but we wasn't chosen this. Back in August 4th, 2019, a gunman opened fire in the Oregon district, killing 9 people, injuring 47 of them. One of the people was my father. We were standing shoulder to shoulder while he was opening fire, and I had to hold my dad and watch him bleed out till he left this earth. But watching that pain and creating my why in life, I became connected with so many great people, and Whitney's one of the great people that I've crossed in my life. And she's just so amazing, and she's just so encouraging, and she gives me the will to want to fight as she got it. So that's the story about Whitney, but she's a great person. But let me tell you a little bit about her mission. Whitney Strong's mission is to realize fewer lives impacted by gun violence, a mission made more relevant every day. Tonight we are not only here to keep moving that mission forward, but to celebrate Whitney and our other guests. Whitney started a Night for Life as a celebration of life, hope, and resilience. This year, we're coming together virtually for something totally unique. Tonight, we'll hear from our 4 local gun violence survivors, and then we'll watch powerful performances as those survivors partner with local artists to showcase the best in songs, dance, and visual artistry. Get ready for an evening like you'll never experienced before. These performers will move you, and these performers will inspire you to help Whitney Strong make a difference on these critical issues facing our country, community, state. I'd now like to invite Whitney to say a few words. Here she is.
Thanks, Dion. All right. So as you all know, we have a fundraising goal tonight. It helps fuel our mission, so you all have an important role to play. And per usual, we have a thermometer that helps us keep track of the donations that are coming in. So tonight, we've set a goal of $30,000, which I think that we can achieve. And I want to go ahead and tell you that we have amazing news to kick us off. We have a $5,000 donation coming in from the Gordon Foundation. So thank you. We're super excited that that just came in and gets us well on our way to the $30,000 because we're sitting at $4,576 now. So that'll jump us up to $9,576. let me tell you really quickly how to donate if you are not familiar. You can text to give by texting ANFL Virtual 2020 to 76278. And then I meant to bring this up here. I'll do it here in a minute. Actually, I'll grab it. And then also, it wouldn't be a Kentucky event if we didn't have bourbon. And we have a very special bourbon tonight to encourage you to bid. This is a 20-year bottle of Pappy Van Winkle. It's rated the #1 bourbon whiskey in the world. And we have a bottle up for grabs tonight. So you can get to this in the exact same way by texting ANFL Virtual 2020 to 76278. Hey, real quick, again, rolling with the punches here. Margaret, do we know what the current bid is right now on it? Well, we'll come back to that. And then actually, while we work on that, we're going to come back because we're going to get on with our program. So the first collaboration we have tonight is with Terrell Williams, who I think many of you know at this point. He's a very special member of our board, also a gun violence survivor, and he has been paired with artist Kilo Gaddafi. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over, and you'll hear more about this collaboration.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kilo Gaddafi. I'm from Evansville, Indiana. I'm moving to Nashville, Tennessee. I'm pursuing hip-hop. I'm a hip-hop artist. I'm going to be a part of the Night for Life event. I'm going to be representing Terrell Williams through hip-hop and song. What I learned through this project so far is that these are life-changing events. People are living their day-to-day, and they don't give a second thought about what if all of that changed. And, with the survivors, and that's something that happened to them. Their life completely changed, and so they had to adjust with that. And so I learned a different perception on life and looking at it through a different scope. It kind of sticks in the back of my mind daily, like some things he wasn't able to do again anymore. And so, that plays on my heartstrings, and to get news like that is devastating. So he took that and he used programs that were really strong, and he still found happiness in the tunnel. So yeah, what's expected is to bring that night to life and really get into detail with it, really play it out. Not really expect the music to nod your head to. This is something that you really want to tune in on and focus, because the lyrics are going to be raw. They're going to be straightforward. They're going to answer some questions that you might have had about the event. We're going to really bring it to life, just really paint a canvas. The subject can be enrapturing if you do it the way that I'm going to do it. So working with a survivor one-on-one, to execute the song and represent him the way he wanted, it showed me how organizations like Whitney Strong gives someone something to keep believing in. You take a traumatic event like that, you get shot multiple times, and people turn their backs on you, and your friends that were friends are not there anymore. Even some family members, your whole course of life changes. If you think about that, you almost couldn't imagine it unless it happened to you. But when you can have all that happen to you, be back against the wall, and then have a solid platform like Whitney Strong organization to be there for you, that's a lot. One thing I want to say is never let nobody take your happiness away from you. We the only thing that's playing. First and foremost, I want to say rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Sending prayers out to her family and friends. The verdict is in, y'all, and she did not receive justice. The people who should be held accountable for this pretty much got away scot-free. And so, we got to know that we have a voice, and everybody's voice counts. It can't be one person, or it can't be somebody being silent. but like we got to fight against this. It's time to like do better. And so I just wanted to put that out there and give a little take on how I feel about it. Now I'm about to represent Terrell Williams and the Whitney Strong organization. Let's go ahead and fire it up.
I never would've thought it'd be me, nobody ever does. Jump out the car, continue playing CD and put the neighborhood in a state of euphoria for a moment. Feel like I'm being watched, now I'm watching over my shoulders. But breathe, dog, it's only me, dog. Self-consciousness, you know that we are God-fearing conglomerates. I shake it off, walking to the store, I pay with card. So what's the price for a bag of chips and a cold pop? The sun shimmered through the window and it caught my eye. I grin at the gorgeous sky, cause I know it's God. He do that from time to time. Guess I'm gonna ride around, exit the market now. I'm stomping through a parking lot. As I approach, I peep folks inside the car he in. Had a window and seat broke, but little did he know I'm certified with a license to carry mine. Who am I? The stereotype. So I tell him get out the car. He refused, so I reach for the peace. Whatever happened to reaching for peace? And where's the police when you need them? Bullets hit my chest and the shell casing burned through a sneaker. Two accomplices that shoot for no reason. I'm on my knees thinking, God take care of me. I hope he can hear me speaking. Might be upset cause we don't praise him, but we pledge allegiance. I hit the fetal position, hoping to dodge demons. Can't even feel my legs, voices in my head screaming. Life in the driver's seat be out control. At the red light, wait for green light to go. When everything's dim, I could relight the glow. Voicemail box, no messages. Pain never ends, Godspeed. No more shackles on the feet and I'm free. Hey, would you believe that I'm wiser now? I'm stronger now and ready to tell my story. Wrecked the car, came back around. Guess he wasn't finished, had the pistol out. Point blank, bullet hit the ground. I can see the sparks flying all around. Chip the concrete, skip a heartbeat. Hollow tips ricochet inside me. Eternal wobbly, disembodied. I'll be dead by the time they find me. Streets grimy, could be anybody. God, the only reason I survived it. Never hate to see the sun shining, so I'm open-minded to the county violence. More than rap, paralyzed from the waist, so you ain't have to go through that. I was looking forward to returning back, but bro was looking for a toe tag.
Hey man, how y'all doing? Terrell Williams here. I'm on the board at Whitney Strong. And just real quick, briefly, a little bit about me. So 3.5 years ago, stopped at a store, ran inside quickly, and as I come out, I was hit with a surprise. Long story short, suffered 2 gunshot wounds, one to the chest, one to the neck, left me paralyzed from the waist down. And at first, trying to see where life was gonna head, it was no direction, but it's crazy because ever since then, life's been on the up and up. And so tonight, A Night for Life, reflection on survival. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're talking about. That's what's going on. This was great. And so I got to work with a guy, Kilo Gaddafi. It was great to work with Kilo. Like I said, man, great to work with Kilo. He's from around this area, works in Nashville now, but when I was looking for an artist to help collaborate with this piece, I wanted to pick a guy who had a true passion for music, rap especially, but I also wanted it to be a storytelling song. And so the artist that I picked, he had to be able to tell a story and tell a story good. And so just talking to Kilo, getting a little bit of information about his background, he was definitely the obvious pick. And I'm glad, so glad that he was the choice, because after hearing this song, man, it's definitely one of the highlights of 2020, like no doubt. And so, first of all, Kilo, man, thank you. Shout out to you. Song was dope. Thank you. I appreciate it. It really means a lot. And so I hope it meant a lot to you all as well, because what that song means for me is it allows me to reach other people and share my story with other people. And because when you hear this song, you hear the song about me, But the reality of it is I'm just one of thousands and thousands of these stories. And far too often, you know, everyone doesn't get the platform that I have right now to share their story. And so that's what I wanted to do with this song, and I wanted people to know that, hey, you know, there are similar situations that go on in other neighborhoods that are similar to yours, possibly. And together we have to work together to stop this violence. It's not gonna happen overnight, but together we can do this.
Welcome back. I hope y'all enjoyed the video from the artist Kilo, talking about Terrell's story, showing his pain that he went through, putting into music. So many people find music and arts as a healing point, and to learn how to get through their stages of grieving and just moving forward in life. It was a very powerful video, and I thank you for allowing me to share it with others and myself. So we're off to a great start, but we're just getting started, folks. Let's check our current donation total.
Hi guys, time for an update on giving. So we are at $10,776, which is amazing. That is 36% of our goal. If you haven't given yet, get out that phone. As a reminder, you can do it by texting to ANFLV, you text to 76278 and you put in ANFL Virtual 2020. All right, so I have some really good news now that I just got in. We have been given the opportunity for a match, and it's a really big match. So first off, special thanks to donor Court Hunnicky. But what he has donated is $10,000 as long as we ourselves tonight can donate $10,000. So we're at $10,776. The moment we hit $20,776 is the moment that $10,000 bonus will hit, and then we'll hit our goal. So I think this is really exciting news, and I hope that you are just as invested as I am as to getting to that $20,776. Earlier, I couldn't give you the update on the Pappy, but I have learned that it's sitting at $1,615. And for those of you that participated last year, you know that we ended up at $2,300. So I hope that we can repeat what we did last year. Something else I'd like to share, this is really important to donors, it's understanding where their money goes. And so one really tangible example I can give you is our Save a Life program. And so the Save a Life program was put together to bring multiple forms of training into communities that are disproportionately impacted by gun violence. So for $50 a person, we can provide them Stop the Bleed training, which is making sure people know how to apply a tourniquet in moments of trauma. We also provide them firearm safety instruction. We provide them a free meal, and they walk away with a Stop the Bleed kit and then also with a gun lock. And so this is a really important program to our organization, and we would love to train as many people as possible. So know that every $50 helps us bring that program to one person. All right, as a reminder, I hope you're all wearing pink, just like me, and that you're sharing the pictures and videos of you tonight as you celebrate along with us. You can tag us at whitstrong.org on any social media platform, and then also use the hashtag A Night for Life. So it's time to move on to our next collaboration. You're going to see that it features artist Perion Parker, who is a very talented visual artist who has worked on a portrait for survivor Mirsad Sadokovic. And Mirsad is also someone that I have been friends with for several years now, since becoming a gun violence survivor myself. And Mirsad is just an extremely positive person. If anybody knows him, he's constantly encouraging others, even though he himself has had a lot of difficulty to overcome. So I think that you're going to really enjoy their collaboration and the piece of art that they've worked on together.
Perion Parker, I'm a painter, visual artist, out locally in Louisville, and I first came in contact with the Whitney Strong foundation through social media, and I was recommended through Margaret Archambault from Tim Faulkner Gallery, and then from talking with Whitney, she filled me in about like wanting to do a piece and collaborate with like a person who survived through gun violence, and then from there I connected with Mersad, and we met, and he pretty much like kind of introduced himself. I introduced myself to him, and he's an artist as well, great artist, with graphic designing, and so he opened up and told me his story of like how a piece can be a voice, and how of the visual itself had an impact on just the trauma, and then from there, it inspired me to really capture what it was that he wants to speak, and from us collaborating, I wanted to do a piece that he wanted to speak through visually. So with the inspiration, I took it in so many different ways until we met, and then from there, that's when I finally saw exactly what it was that he wanted to express. And from the piece that I did, I really wanted to reflect on what it is that he's saying through the traumatic experience.
Hello, I'm Mirsad Sadikovic, and I'm working with Whitney Strong. Hopefully we can bring peace to the world, because gun violence is out of control, and over 30,000 lives have been taken from gun violence every day. And art's always been important to me, especially after my injury, because I can put a lot of meaning behind the pieces that I make. There's a lot of meaning behind just the lines and color that people think. And it's just very important because you tell a story behind it. And I haven't seen the piece that we are going to see today. And I'm very excited. I haven't seen it, so let's get to it. I don't know what to say. This is amazing. Man, you did a really good job. I like this a lot. And I really don't know what to say. I love it. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, there's been a couple of approaches to this piece that I wanted to really connect with, but from just knowing the story and just like kind of when I was talking with you, and plus how you opened up and you kind of gave me a little bit more of a visual on the situation, I just remembered how you were telling me of all of just the emotion, the weight, and just like how life it's just like there was like a before, there was like so much going, and then to that moment, and then next thing you know, it's just like a completely different reality. And then so it's just those emotions and that energy I was really trying to connect with.
Welcome back. Wow. Talking about a powerful story and powerful artwork. That was an awesome job, Purion and Marsad. Just seeing how he took his creativity and drew the three faces showing, and it was healing. It's just so many ways that you can heal through art. It's like I've been learning that out myself, just doing a lot of different things, just easing the soul and just helping out. But wow, that was very beautiful. So 3 weeks ago, September 6th, that was the 2-year anniversary of the mass shooting in Cincinnati, where Whitney miraculously lived after being shot 12 times, and where she began her new life. Work of reducing gun violence. Shortly before September 6th, Whitney was interviewed by the Associated Press, an interview that was picked up by news outlets around the country, including the Washington Post, which Whitney was particularly proud of. In that article, Whitney discussed how instead of slowing down because of the pandemic, slowing down, her organization actually ramped up their efforts to shine the light on gun violence prevention just this summer. Whitney Strong organization distributed over 5,000 gun locks throughout the state of Ohio through partnership with the National Shooting Sports Association and the Buckeye State Sheriff Association. She has also assembled panels of experts for 3 virtual speaker series sessions to discuss the impact of COVID-19 on mental health, suicide, and gun violence. And she has continued meeting with lawmakers in both Ohio and Kentucky to discuss common sense, majority-supported solutions to reduce gun violence. Whitney works tirelessly, building a bridge between both sides of the aisle, and the pandemic has not slowed her down. A little bit later, she'll be sharing the details of some proposed legislations here in Kentucky that she's pretty excited about. But before we step away for a quick break, let's take a look at tonight's given totals.
Hi, everybody. It's my understanding that some of you are just joining us, so that means you missed the beginning monologue, which is we're rolling with the punches. So tonight, instead of having Shannon Cogan as your fabulous MC, you have myself and also Dion Green, who is just up here. And we are both gun violence survivors of mass shootings. So I think everybody knows now that I survived September 6, 2018 in Cincinnati, but Dion survived the mass shooting of August 4th, 2019 in Dayton, Ohio. But sadly, Dion's father did not. And so we're just in a very, I want to say small, but it's growing larger circle of survivors out there that have experienced mass violence. And so I'm really thankful that he stepped up to help us tonight. And I hope that you all will give us grace as we work our way through this, along with the link. So I think that some of you, again, have just joined us because there were some issues with the link. So thank you again for being patient. All right, so with our giving totals, we are currently sitting at $13,246. And if you didn't hear a little bit earlier, we announced that we received a match donation of $10,000, assuming we on our own raised $10,000. And so I'm actually having a little trouble remembering exactly what that number was, but it was 21,000 something. And so we're sitting now at 13,246. We need to get to 21,000. And as soon as we get to 21,000, cha-ching, that $10,000 match that was graciously donated by Court Haneke will chip in. And then we'll hit our goal of $30,000. So everybody, chip in. Let's do it. And to help you with reaching that goal, I actually have more great news to share with you. So we have another large donation that came in. It's for $1,000, and it is from Michael and Claudia Straw, who are actually down in Clearwater, Florida. So thank you, Michael and Claudia. We're going to jump up now to, it looks like, $14,246. So closer and closer to that 21,000. We will be back in a few minutes. This is the perfect opportunity to take a little break, whether it's to grab some of the food from your charcuterie tray that you had delivered tonight, or to grab a glass of wine. And while we do that, you will be treated to the sounds of Ben Sollee, a cellist and composer, songwriter here in Louisville, Kentucky, who you'll hear more from soon because he's one of the collaborators for my story. See you all soon.
Just pace yourself. Feel the friction in your mind. Consider this opportunity to move against the tide towards the thoughtful maps of an ever-changing coast, drawing lines where they never were, just to see if they might belong. Whoa, but you got a whole lot to give, yes. Ooh, you got a whole lot to give. Ooh, you got a whole lot to give. Oh, yes, you got a whole lot to give. Just quit chasing your tail. Ooh, you're tracking mud all over the place. Lord, don't you remember the voice you used when you spoke of precious things? Whoa, but you got a whole lot to give. You got a whole lot to give. Ooh, you got a whole lot to give. Oh, yes, you got a whole lot to give. Ooh, yeah.
Hello, welcome back. For y'all who do not know my name is Dion Green. At this time, we want to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors, especially our Amplify level sponsors, Sterling Thompson's Company, the Underwriters Group, Commercials Insurance. We would also like to thank Ice House, where Whitney and I are coming to you live this evening, for donating their lovely venue to host the live portion of this event. Thank you again for your generosity.
All right, I'm back, and I bring a gift here. So you may have noticed, there's no way you couldn't have noticed, the art installation that is behind me. It is art put together by my husband, Waller Austin. And if it's not familiar to you, these firearms up here are actually the 90mm Taurus that was used against me on September 6, 2018. And in the first really few weeks that we were home after the shooting, we all took a different approach to healing. And while I really immersed myself in therapy and time with friends and family, Waller immersed himself in art. And so this is really the product of that therapy for him. And so since then, Waller, and you can find out more information on WallerAustin.com, but since then, Waller has put together this piece right here. You can see, it's the 9mm Taurus, but it has been broken in half to really symbolize the complicated relationship that he has with guns. And then down at the bottom, you can see flesh-colored bullets. And every single bit of this is made of Crayola crayon and has been sculpted by his hand. So it's really an exceptional piece. And Waller has generously donated 2 of these tonight. So the next 2 donors that come in with a donation of $1,000 or more will be gifted one of these. And this is obviously orange. And then there's one over there that is, I believe, gray. So again, the next 2 donors that come in tonight with a donation larger than $1,000 will be gifted with this original art piece from Waller Austin. I'm going to put this down real quick. All right, so as a reminder, I'm going to always check in on our giving totals. We're at $13,246, and if you can get me to $21,000, then we will get that matching donation of $10,000. So let's keep working on it. It's time to move on to our next performance. This one will feature survivor Raven Sanders. You're going to learn a little bit more about Raven, but Raven has a servant's heart. He is a survivor of gun violence multiple times, but he has taken his trauma and turned it into servanthood. And he has been paired with gospel artist Cynthia Maxwell. And I think her voice is exactly what you need to hear tonight.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Maxwell. I have been singing for 20 plus years. I've met Raven through a mutual friend, and I'm excited to just be a part of this event. Raven is he's a great guy. His personality is funny. But you also can tell that he really, really enjoys helping out people and everything, and like doing a lot for the community. And he is a God-fearing man. Also, I'm just excited just to be a part of it. This is something new. It's out of my element, but it's always willing to try new things. I have family members that was part of gun violence. And the song that I'm singing on today will be Yes. And the meaning of the song to me is just surrendering over to God and giving God your whole heart, and not just being a yes man to the people out in the world, but giving a real 100% yes to God and letting him work within you to be able to love people the way he wants you to love. And also, I'm just excited. So you all tune in, and be ready for a great show. Bye. Will your heart and soul say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? If I told you what I really need, will your spirit still say yes? There is more that I require thee. Will your spirit still say yes? Can you help me say yes? Yes. 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 Yes.
say yes? Will your spirit still say yes? There is more that I require of thee. Will your spirit still say yes? Can you help me say yes? Yes. 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 My heart says yes. 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 Will your heart and soul say yes?
Hey, my name is Raven Sanders, and I am the founder of Stop the Violence, Put the Beef on the Grill. I have partnered up with the Whitney Strong Foundation in order to help combat the rising gun violence that has plagued our city and the nation. Also, I partnered up with Miss Cynthia Maxwell, who gave a beautiful, outstanding performance. And the song she sung was by Shekinah Glory, Say Yes, or Yes. And it just speaks. The song just speaks. It's as if God is asking me the question himself. I have more for you to do. Will you accept the task? Absolutely. I hope when people listen to the song that it can plant a seed that God has something for you to do. You're not in this alone. If you put God in everything you do, you will succeed. If we put God in everything we do as a people, we will succeed. So I hope you enjoy the show and gain something from this wonderful experience.
Welcome back, everyone. Whew, her voice is amazing. It's just touching and just it sends chills through my body. She has a great voice. People, I want y'all to know how important this event means to me, because what Whitney is doing for gun violence. Like, the stuff is happening every day across the country, and people's family are being affected every day. You know, I never thought in a million years I would be a victim of a mass shooting and happen to be there to hold my father in his arms till he died. But that event made me the person who I am, being strong and able to get up and fight, and created my why in life. Why I get up, why I speak to survivors, why I speak, why just whatever. So please donate, give back. It's for a good cause, because this can happen to anyone. Families can be taken in a, trust me, I used to say, be grateful for every day, be grateful for every second. So always tell your loved ones that you love them, even if you're mad, because I wish I can argue with my father and just get the moments back, but I can't. So my mission is to make him proud and have him smile down and just see the mission and the path that I'm giving back to help heal others and get there through their tragedy times. So, yes, give back. Help out Whitney Strong. She's an amazing woman. She's a fighter. She's a survivor, and she's giving her all. And if you don't see that, then you're not seeing what she's doing. So, further ado, here comes Miss Whitney Strong.
Right, everybody. Thank you, Dion. Some really good news. So we're sitting at 22,801. Remember what I said? I said we had to get to 21,000, and we did. So it's going to take a minute to input it, but we are sitting at $32,801, which is amazing. It is very difficult to set fundraising goals in the midst of the pandemic, and we know that everybody has many worthy causes to give to. So when you show up for us tonight and you help us reach a goal like this, it is encouraging beyond words. So thank you. I hope that we can continue to keep going. I hope we push the limits. I hope we can get to 40,000. So let's keep working on it. I also have some exciting news to share. So we offered up the 2 pieces by my husband, Waller Austin, and we already have the 2 winners to announce. The first winner is Jebin Berg. So thank you, Jebin, very much for your donation, and we're really excited that that will be on display in your home. And then second is to Lisa Dabney. Same thing. Lisa, we're really excited that you will have one to display in your home. All right, so that is what is happening right now with our giving totals. And it's time for me to transition to allow a video. There's a special video for you all.
My name is Deborah Barnes-Myers, and I am the project manager for Pivot to Peace. My caseworkers and I work with those who have been injured by gun violence, as well as those who are living at a high risk of violence. We know that gun violence can be a life-altering and often a life-ending event.
Hello, my name is Elaine Frank, and I'm a fan of Whitney Strong from Newport, New Hampshire. I first learned about the group when they contacted me to learn about my work in bringing together the suicide prevention and firearm communities to work on what we have in common, wanting to prevent deaths and injuries from the misuse of firearms.
My name is Alex Blair. I'm a military veteran, and I have firearms training within the military as well as with the state police. All firearms training that I've ever encountered starts out with safety. It's the most important thing, whether you're carrying the gun, transporting, or storing. Safekeeping is the most important thing to be a responsible gun owner.
Hi, my name is Luther Brown, and I'm with the Little Hands, Little Feet Gun Safety Program. And we support Whitney Strong and all of the good work that she does for our community.
Hi everybody, it's Mark Barton here. I'm coming to you from my home in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. The work that I do at Sandy Hook Promise is just that. It's about prevention. And as the name of the bill says, it's crisis aversion, which is about prevention, about preventing tragedies, about preventing the loss of life and other families having to live this pain, while retaining everyone's rights. And that's the perfect marriage of good and good. And please give generously to Whitney Strong. Whitney Strong organization is doing amazing work. The Crisis Aversion and Rights Retention Order should be the law of the land.
I am Reverend Charles Elliott, and I'm really happy to support Ms. Whitney because God has saved her and kept her here to show how God can save you. Anytime you have been shot as many times as she was shot, God saved her for the purpose. And I asked everybody to let us go in and share and support her in an effort to show what God can do and that we can stop this violence.
I wouldn't wish what happened to Whitney Austin on anyone. But I remember 2 years ago, as soon as she got home from the hospital, she reached out to me. Went to her house, and there she is, laying there still bandaged up, hurt. But she looked at me and she said, I want to know the best policies we can craft to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. She turned her pain into purpose. And she took her background as a product manager in Fifth Third with a corporate, goal-oriented mindset and made it her mission to get bipartisan, common-sense gun reform through in Kentucky. Her purpose and her passion has intersected with what the world needs at this moment. And she's working with Democrats and Republicans on crisis aversion rights retention, a landmark piece of legislation that we will introduce this coming session in the Kentucky General Assembly and hopefully push forward into law. I know with Whitney Austin helping lead the charge, we stand a chance.
Hi, everybody. You're really filling my bucket. That's what my kids would say. This is so exciting. We're almost at 25,000. And we still have a good bit of time left tonight. Our current, of course, I'm messing this up. Margaret, what's the number again for Pappy? We're at $22.95 on the Pappy. So we're right there where we were last year. Thank you all so much for bidding on that bottle. I also want to make a correction. So one of the guns, one of the pieces by Waller Austin, is going to both Jebin and Dana Berg. So thank you, Jebin and Dana, for your donation. It means so much. Waller is also feeling really generous tonight. He saw those things get snapped up really quickly. So he is offering up one more donation of $1,000, and you will get a Waller Austin original art piece. So consider that. All right, so now for the time for me to transition to what I think I do better than emceeing. So again, hopefully you've given me grace. I do want to thank some people tonight. So first, to the A Night for Life committee. I've already alluded to the fact that this has been a roller coaster of difficult decisions to try and decide if we should host this tonight. And so I thank all of them for working so hard and, again, rolling with the punches to get us here tonight. I also want to thank the Whitney Strong Board. You know, it may not be apparent to you, but we are a new organization. Today is actually the 2-year anniversary of when we announced Whitney Strong through Good Morning America. And while we have employees, no one is getting paid, and a majority of the work that comes through Whitney Strong is done by myself, Tammy Schaff, our Director of Development, and then our board. And I continue to be amazed constantly that my board members find the time to commit to Whitney Strong on top of their careers, on top of their families, and really provide you a level of professionalism that I'm proud to be a part of. So thank you to my board members. I also want to thank all of my family that is on tonight. This virtual event has given them the opportunity to participate from California to North Carolina to Florida, and it means so much that you finally get to see really the work that we do in person. And then lastly, I need to thank my husband, who has been running around like a chicken with his head cut off the last week to put together this installation, to do all the things necessary to help us get ready. And then to my 2 kiddos, to Waller and Taz. Hi, Mommy loves you. They never, ever get the opportunity to see Mommy live. And so I love you. And after this, we're going to have fun tomorrow. We're not going to do anything related to Whitney Strong. So I'm gonna grab a tissue because I forgot to get that. I'll be right back. All right, so tonight is about these 3 amazing guys you see in front of you. We are here to celebrate Mersad, Terrell, and Raven. We are here to acknowledge the pain and the trauma that they've had to overcome, but we're also here to stand in awe of their resiliency and the passion that they have toward making change with gun violence. Their stories are so difficult, but they are meant to remind you that we can do really hard things when we are committed. You know, usually I would get up here on a night like tonight and tell you how effective our organization has been at executing on our strategic priorities. And we have been. I'm very proud of how unbelievably effective we've been in the midst of a pandemic, exactly what was shared in that Washington Post article. But considering the weight of the world and the gun violence that's raging across the city of Louisville, so many cities across our country, I have to speak differently to you tonight. I have to bring a different message. And I want it to be a message of hope and a message of light. I want you to believe, like I do, that we will see a future that is not plagued by gun violence. A future where I am not on constant alert, that my family will be shot in a random act of violence. A future in which suicidal people just don't have ready access to firearms. And a future in which gun violence does not claim 2 lives within the same family in one summer, like what happened with David McAtee and his nephew here in Louisville, Kentucky. We can have this future. I believe that, and I believe that Whitney Strong will be a part of it. But to get there, I need you to hear me when I say this, and we're going to say it a lot together tonight. We can only do it if we do it together. So as you all know, this American icon died a week ago. While my admiration of her generally centers on her brilliance and her dedication to gender equality, it's hard to be a woman and not look up to this woman. This quote is everywhere right now, and for good reason. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. And I'm sorry, and I think we're falling down on that right now. When I laid in the hospital bed for a week following the shooting, Waller and I thought long and hard about how to make progress on this issue of gun violence. It had been nearly 6 years at that point since the Sandy Hook shooting, and nothing, literally nothing, had changed for the better in my state of Kentucky or even at the federal level. Gun deaths were also increasing in every category. I remember thinking, I can't be a part of this. I can't have anything to do with this. I cannot have these deaths on my conscience, knowing that I have the tools to do something about it. I knew then exactly what I know now. We need all sides to win this fight. I'm going to say something that will shock some of you. There are many good Democrats. There are many good Republicans. Some of them are in D.C. Some of them I work with in Columbus, and some of them I work with in Frankfurt. There are also some bad ones too. That's a little bit of a joke. But good ones in all of those places. When you believe, like we do at Whitney Strong, that freedom from gun violence is not a political issue, but a basic human right, the right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, then you can begin to invite anyone into your movement that is like-minded. Justice Ginsburg knew that. Her desire to invite others into her movement is why she carefully chose every word within her dissents. It is why she carefully selected legal precedent that would appeal to her opposition, making it much more difficult to ignore her argument. And it is why she modeled for us that befriending your political opponent is doable. This woman has and will continue to inspire me. I want her to inspire you, and in honor of her, I ask all of you to commit to the following Whitney Strong ideals. Start viewing each other as people and not by political party. Approach every conversation with one goal. Where is there common ground, and how do we act on it? And lastly, come to terms with the notion that beliefs are developed over decades, if not centuries, and they vary to the social, economic, environmental, and systemic factors that play out over the course of our lives. So what does that mean? That means I'm a white girl that grew up in Fern Creek, Kentucky. I had different factors that contributed to who I am than someone who grew up in the West End of Louisville, for example. So I'm asking you to seek first to understand those differences before assuming or assigning a label. And so I'm going to ask you to say this with me over and over again tonight. We can do better together. I'm going to stop real quick and remind you that our giving number is at 35,516. So when you hear something that speaks to you, make a donation. All right, so do you need a little bit more inspiration that we can do better together? I want you to look at this picture because it makes me smile. I see Senator Morgan McGarvey, who is the Senate Minority Leader, a Democrat from the Highlands in Louisville, Kentucky, with his arm around Senator Paul Hornback, who is a rural Republican from Shelbyville, Kentucky, in the Senate. These two men are very different, with very different political views, but they understand that what happened to me isn't acceptable and that we must come together to solve problems. They fought to stand by me, and that's the truth. They fought to stand by me because there were many organizations that tried to stop this hearing from happening. So they fought to stand by me at an interim hearing in Frankfort, Kentucky, to discuss gun safety legislation, something that has not happened in Frankfort, Kentucky in decades, and definitely not in a bipartisan way. We just need to take a moment to realize what a big deal this is in our state. And I am so inspired by them and their willingness to put aside their political differences to help me, to help keep us all safe. I also see Mark Barden. Mark Barden is the co-founder and managing director of Sandy Hook Promise. He inspires me to persevere when I am weak. If I can find it within myself to keep fighting, or if he can find it within himself to keep fighting, after losing his son Daniel, who was in the first grade at Sandy Hook Elementary School, when he was brutally murdered in 2012, the least I can do is keep going. He inspires me. And then lastly, the person I see in this picture that makes me smile, that makes me keep going, is my friend Kirsten. While participating in legislative work, I think is probably the last thing she ever imagined for herself. She pushed herself into that hearing to fight for her mother, who died by gun violence. She summoned the courage to speak about an unspeakable and private moment to save you. She inspires me. I've talked about the importance of honoring each other's political differences and uniting behind a common good. But we've got another divide going on, the divide between gun owners and non-gun owners, and it can be just as vast. This may also surprise you. We do not believe that guns are good. We also do not believe that guns are bad. Those talking points are meant to divide us and shut down dialogue. Truthfully, there are valid reasons why people have guns. And there are also valid reasons why some people should not have guns. At Whitney Strong, we will continue to champion responsible gun ownership, which quite simply means things like, don't leave your loaded, unlocked gun out. Not for your kids, not for someone else's kids, not for the criminal to steal it out of your car, and not for a suicidal person. This is also something that people seem to have fallen down on. Do not own a gun or carry a gun without consistent and extensive proper training. You should not walk into a gun store and walk out with one and think you're prepared. And do not turn the other way when there are evidence-based solutions that can prevent violent acts while not infringing on your right to own. We're not here to take your guns away, and I will always dispute that. And this includes our legislative solution in Kentucky, CAR. So CAR stands for Crisis Aversion Rights Retention Order, and I want to take a minute to share that in the expression gift that you received, and those of you that purchased a ticket today, it'll come a little bit later, but there's a postcard in there. And in that postcard, it will tell you more about this piece of legislation, which is essentially, let's make sure that we have a legal path to temporarily separate someone from their firearm when they're going through a crisis moment. And you may ask yourself, Whitney, is that postcard really going to make a difference? Yes, it will. Follow the instructions, find your senator, find your representative, send it, send your own emails, your own letters, but help us as we head into the 2021 session, because we need this to keep us safe. So what do I see when I look at this picture? I smile with pride because it is two worlds colliding for good. We managed to set up a partnership with the National Shooting Sports Foundation to deliver 5,000 gun locks to the Ohio Buckeye Sheriff's Association across the state. I also see a picture that includes firearm instructor Cole from Knob Creek Gun Range and other board members training on firearm safety. And also, most importantly, finding that common ground as we seek to educate those gun shop employees on risk factors and warning signs of suicide, which is hugely important work as we seek to make the biggest dent in reducing gun violence by interrupting the nearly 24,000 people that die across our country by suicide with a gun. And then lastly, I see we'll just call him my cousin-in-law, John, who is proudly supporting Whitney Strong as a responsible gun owner shooting traps on the 4th of July. They all inspire me, and they all serve as a reminder that, say it together, we can do better together. So my initial take of this picture does not make me smile. It makes me think about those painful moments where I lay crumpled alone in that revolving door, wondering if I was to live or die or to see my family again. And then I think about her. I think about Breonna Taylor and how she must have had those same thoughts when she laid on that floor. But you know what? She died and I lived. I would like to talk about racial equity, the topic consuming Louisville, Kentucky, and the world. This should be a topic that we can all support, but unfortunately our differences have been amplified through rhetoric and effects, and the effects of that are catastrophic. I feel it right now. We're all on edge down here at the Ice House as the protesting is going on. There is a reason that many people, especially Black people, are hurting right now. And while Breonna Taylor has become one face of the movement, it is so much deeper. If you listen, and you gotta listen, you will hear the pain of people who are exhausted by the inequities that they face daily, inequities that they have faced for generations. And connected directly to our mission at Whitney Strong, they are exhausted by how gun violence impacts them disproportionately. You know, here at Whitney Strong, we're all about data, and the data always gets to me. Black men make up 52% of all gun homicide victims, despite comprising less than 7% of the U.S. population. Furthermore, Black Americans are 10 times more likely than white Americans to die by gun homicide. And then what's in the news currently? Since 2015, police have shot and killed about twice as many white people as Black people, but there are 6 times as many white people and Black people in the United States. So proportionately, Black people are much more likely to be shot and killed by police. Look, please do not allow memes or sensational posts meant to be divisive to distract you from the facts that I just gave you. Gun violence does not occur disproportionately in Black and brown communities simply because the shooter does not know right from wrong. That is so simplistic, and it is so much more complex. It's often the result of underlying factors that are so dire that some find it nearly impossible to dream of a better future. You know, Terrell, who you've heard from several times tonight, said it best when he said, Breonna's death isn't only a reminder of a broken system, it is a reminder that some people consider a good day good, as long as they don't get shot. It is a reminder that some parents dream about their child's wedding day, while others worry that they will have to bury their child because of a bullet. And finally, it is a reminder that for some young people, reaching the age of 25 is the first time that living to see age 50 is an actual thought. That is so painful, and that is so foreign from any thoughts that I have ever had. So yes, there is much pain in this picture, but there's also inspiration. I am inspired by the attention that Breonna's death has brought to racial inequities. I am inspired that more and more people are joining the fight and unwilling to accept that gun violence is just a way of life in certain communities. And I am inspired that her death led to the appointment of the interim chief, Yvette Gentry, who is the first Black woman to hold the office in the city of Louisville. And I am inspired that she understands we can only do better together. I don't know her. I hope to meet her someday. She gave an excellent speech. And what stood out to me is when she humbly said, people are just so far apart, and maybe I can be in the middle and I can bridge it. And guys, that is exactly what Whitney Strong is. We are here to be the bridge to help fight to end gun violence. All right, so here's a picture that will make me grin from ear to ear. I believe these two very special men represent our path forward. Let me explain. So there is Al, Cincinnati police officer Al Staples, who, in case you didn't know, is one of the officers that saved my life on September 6th. I see a selfless public servant who would have sacrificed his life for mine. I see a man who would do it all over again tonight for anyone. I see a man who cares deeply about stopping the violence in these communities. You know, this world right now, everybody wants things to be binary. Cops are good or cops are bad. And it's not that simple. There's so much gray. But I will tell you right now that this cop is good. This cop is good. And he is the best of humanity. In Terrell, I see a young Black man whose life was changed forever due to some of the underlying factors I mentioned earlier. I see a man who is fighting daily to bring you into the fold, to expose you to those factors and convince you to care, to do something about it. I am inspired so much by these two men. They represent the foundation for change that we all need so desperately right now. A world in which leaders that have the power to affect change come together to solve problems by listening and acknowledging each other's beliefs and their belief systems and the factors that have molded them into the people that they are for decades, if not centuries. I challenge you tonight to approach every conversation, whether it's about racial inequality, gun violence prevention, or any other important conversation with one goal. Where is there common ground and how do we act? And let's say it together. We can do better together. You all received 4 original art prints delivered to you as part of our expression gift. And again, anybody that purchased a ticket today, you're going to have to wait because we can't just get it to you instantaneously, but it will come next week. I hope you will take some time with each of them, knowing more of each of the survivors' stories can be found there. This is my print, and it represents my inspiration, my children. You will learn tonight through my performance piece that the revolving door into Fifth Third Bank headquarters in Cincinnati, Ohio, carries great significance to me. I can vividly remember my trip through it on September 6th, and the only time that I have returned since. With that visit, I approached frightened, trembling, uncertain if I could muster the strength to even look at it. I remember getting closer and closer and feeling like I got to bolt. I can't do this. I can't do this. And then out of the heavens, Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody played over the Square's sound system. And they may sound really trivial to you, but it is not. Since my children were old enough to dance, this has been our song. I have many memories of twirling each of them around in circles as Whitney Houston masterfully sang through the chorus. Just thinking about this song makes me want to dance. You can imagine my surprise when this exact song played at the exact moment I returned to the door. It was spiritual. I was overcome with emotion. Instantaneously, my fears dissipated. I was reminded of the shooting and how in that moment I so desperately wanted to come home, to be able to come home to my family and my children. And tonight, I want to remind you of why we all fight so desperately to end gun violence. It is for all of our children. All of our children. It's the children that live in your neighborhood and whose parents often share your beliefs, along with the children that don't live in your neighborhood and whose parents don't share your beliefs. In this difficult moment, there is a way forward with Whitney Strong. And how? We can do better together. Thank you, everybody.
Wow. Welcome back. Oh, man, it's impossible not to be inspired when you hear her speak and the things that she's sharing of when she went back to that night. I know everything she's walking through, and that's why we're connected for life, because we have a story that we can share to each other that only me and her knows how to help each other through our times of depression or grief or just whatever's in our heart at that moment at the time. But wow, love you, Whitney. You're strong, and you know, God doesn't put nobody in our life for no reason. You know, there was a lot of things I questioned, you know, just wondering why he kept me alive and had me watch my father die, why he didn't take me. It's just so much, there's so much stuff that gets caught up in the moment. But I always tell people, when you got a great support system and families and friends that are there to encourage you to get through it and stay strong and keep you from falling into them dark moments, you will be all right. And it takes time. And crying and grieving, crying is part of the emotion, so there's nothing wrong with crying, so let it out when it's time to come out. Whew. But let's take a moment and let's look at our current giving totals. Right now, we are currently at $37,174. It's amazing. Still got 20 minutes left. So, you know, keep donating, because she just poured her heart out to y'all, showing what her fight is, and she could have gave up. She could have been silent, and just live their life. But when we go through situations like this, my thing is, if you're that brave to try to take my life, then I'm gonna be this brave to stand tall and fight for my life and others. So, yeah, this is a perfect reason to donate, because everything she's doing is saving lives for the next generation. We're just laying the foundation for our kids. Whew. Oh, and don't forget about the Pappies. There's still time left to get your bid in. I don't know where we're at. Do you know where we're at? 2415. So get your bid in. Pappies is a very, very rare drink of bourbon. But the arts have always been important to Whitney. She explained that to you. In her childhood was spent in dance studios, taking voice and flute lessons. As she choreographed for high school shows, like many of us, the arts are also a safe haven for Whitney. That's why she wanted to bring this special evening to all of you, to bring you comfort, hope, and a place to refuel your spirit. Our last collaboration this evening is truly special. Whitney is teaming up with local singer, songwriter, and cellist Ben Solé, choreographer Josh Ford, and dancer Emma Rainey. And don't forget, get your donations in before it's all said and done.
Hi everybody, I'm Ben Solé, musician and composer.
And I'm Josh Ford, and I am the dancer choreographer.
And we are really honored that Whitney Austin invited us to create a work around her experience with gun violence. Whitney shared her story with Josh and I over Zoom, and from a musical perspective, I found it really compelling about how you can be in the normal rhythm of your day and time can be moving fast and feel like it's escaping you, and then all of a sudden this major event, this shooting happens, and time slows down and really stretches out in front of you. And I think that's pretty inspiring for me musically, and it certainly informed some of the dance, right, Josh?
Yeah, it sure did. The sense of time and stretching, like you were saying, absolutely. And then also the recollection of the textures and the way things felt, and the warmth, and it all was very well spoken and delivered, and really felt like it put me in that moment with her. And that's what I tried to capture some with the dance as well.
Yeah, and we tried to do what we could in these COVID times to represent on camera some of the things that we would have incorporated into the performance, using colors in the light to represent different emotional states and changes in time and awareness, and certainly incorporating that deep, strong pink color representing Whitney Strong as the dancer recovers. So I hope you enjoy this piece. Big shout out to Zanzibar here in Louisville for letting us come take over their stage and record on a Sunday.
Yeah, shout out to Emma Rainey, who is the guest artist dancing the role of Whitney in the piece. She did a fabulous job. Yeah.
And if you're inspired, we hope that you will consider supporting Whitney Strong. These are crazy times for nonprofits all over the country, and this is really, really important work, and we believe in it, and that's why we've put our heart, soul, and art towards it. So enjoy. See y'all later.
Bye, guys.
It's just a story we tell ourselves, just an innocent fiction, but I wish it would come true. It's just a story we tell ourselves, just an innocent fiction, but I wish it would come. Just a story we tell ourselves, just an innocent fiction, but I wish it would come.
That was so amazing. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Ben. For those of you that know me, you know that I love dance and I love expression through dance, and it was absolutely magical. And what I am going to promise to all of you is that when we come back together for an in-person A Night for Life event, we are going to bring all of these artists to you in person because they're just amazingly talented. So thank you very much. That was so moving to me. We are going to go ahead and announce the winner of the bottle of Pappy because we're coming to a close and because we have to get out of here. And so our winner is Laura and Brian Schultz from California. And the final bid, what was it, Margaret? Final bid for the Pappy? $24.15, which is huge. So thank you all very, very much. We also had one other donation come in of $1,500 from Bill and Sarah Hauer. So they will get a Waller Austin original art piece. So thank you all so very, very much. We're winding down tonight. I think that the way these things go, that we'll continue to get some more donations, and we're super close to hitting that 40,000, but we already passed our 30,000 goal. So thank you again, everybody, for being so generous. To close us up tonight, I want to remind you that there are so many artists that contributed to this. We had Emma, we had Ben and Josh, and the piece that was created for me. We had Perion and the piece that was created for Mersad. We had Kilo in the piece that was created for Terrell, and we had Cynthia in the piece that was created for Raven. And then lastly, again, in your expression gifts, you have these original art pieces. And I also want to thank those artists for continuing to tell stories. Waller Austin, Catherine Birch, Moan T, and then Mersad himself actually created his own print. So thank you again. And then lastly, thank you to the survivors that have inspired us tonight, and I hope inspire you to go forward in this difficult moment. Don't listen to the rhetoric. Don't believe that no progress can be made. Think of Whitney Strong and all that we have been able to accomplish, and think of these survivors, and think of all the things that they have been able to accomplish. You too can do hard things, we can do better together. Again, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for dealing with all the hiccups. If we ever have another virtual night, it will be slightly better, I think. But thank you again, everybody.